Robert Louis Stevenson. Treasure Island. Chapter 6. The Captain's Papers. We rode fast all the way until we stopped in front of Dr. Livesey's house. The house was dark at the front. Mr. Dance told me to get down and knock, and Dogger helped me with his foot. The door was opened almost at once by a maid. "Is Dr. Livesey at home?" I asked. She said no. He had come home in the afternoon, but had gone to the hall to have dinner and spend the evening with the squire. "Then we go there, boys," said Mr. Dance. This time the distance was short, so I did not ride. I ran beside Dogger's horse, holding the strap, to the gate and then up the long, empty, moonlit road to the big house. The white building stood on both sides, surrounded by large old gardens. Here Mr. Dance got off his horse, and taking me with him, we were led into the house at once. A servant led us along a long passage and showed us into a large library. It was full of bookcases, with statues on top of them. The squire and Dr. Livesey were sitting by a bright fire, each with a pipe in his hand. I had never seen the squire so close before. He was a tall man, more than 6 feet high, and very strong. His face was rough and red, marked by his many travels. His eyebrows were very black and moved easily, which made him look quick-tempered, though not a bad man. "Come in, Mr. Dance," he said in a formal voice. "Good evening, Dance," said the doctor with a nod. "And good evening to you, Jim. What brings you here?" The supervisor stood straight and told his story clearly, like he had learned it by heart. The two gentlemen leaned forward and looked at each other. They even forgot to smoke because they were so surprised and interested. When they heard how my mother went back to the inn, Dr. Livesey hit his leg in excitement, and the squire shouted, "Bravo!" and broke his long pipe in the fire. Before the story was finished, Mr. Trelawney, that was the squire's name, had stood up and was walking around the room. The doctor had taken off his wig to listen better and looked very unusual with his short black hair. At last Mr. Dance finished his story. "Mr. Dance," said the squire, "you are a very good man. And as for riding over that terrible villain, I think it was a good action, like killing a harmful insect. This boy Hawkins is an excellent lad. Hawkins, will you ring the bell? Mr. Dance must have some ale." "And so, Jim," said the doctor, "you have the thing they were looking for, do you?" "Here it is, sir," I said, and gave him the packet wrapped in oilcloth. The doctor looked at it carefully, as if he wanted to open it, but instead he quietly put it into his coat pocket. "Squire," said the doctor, "when Dance has had his ale, he must return to his duty. But I want Jim Hawkins to stay here and sleep at my house, and with your permission, we can bring some food and let him have supper." "As you wish, Livesey," said the squire. "Hawkins deserves better than cold pie." So a large pigeon pie was brought in and placed on a side table. I ate a very good meal because I was extremely hungry. Meanwhile, Mr. Dance was praised again and then sent away. "And now, squire," said the doctor. "And now, Livesey," said the squire at the same time. "One at a time," laughed Dr. Livesey. "You have heard of this Flint, I suppose?" "Heard of him!" cried the squire. "Heard of him, you say? He was the most dangerous pirate that ever sailed. Blackbeard was nothing compared to Flint. The Spaniards were terribly afraid of him. I tell you, sir, I was even proud he was English. I have seen his ship with my own eyes, near Trinidad, and the coward I was sailing with turned back to port because of him." "Well, I have heard of him too, in England," said the doctor. "But the question is, did he have money?" "Money!" cried the squire. "Have you heard the story? What else would these villains be looking for but money? What do they care about except money? Why would they risk their lives if not for money?" "We will soon find out," said the doctor. "But you are so excited that I cannot speak. What I want to know is this. If I have here in my pocket some clue to where Flint hid his treasure, will that treasure be valuable?" "Valuable!" cried the squire. "If we really have such a clue, I will prepare a ship in Bristol and take you and Hawkins with me. I will find that treasure, even if it takes a year." "Very well," said the doctor. "Now then, if Jim agrees, we will open the packet." He put it on the table. The bundle was sewn shut, and the doctor had to use his medical scissors to cut it open. Inside there were two things, a book and a sealed paper. "First, we will look at the book," said the doctor. The squire and I leaned over his shoulder as he opened it. The doctor kindly asked me to come closer from the table where I had been eating. On the first page, there were only small pieces of writing, like someone had been testing a pen. One line was the same as the tattoo, "Billy Bones, his fancy." Then there were other lines. "Mr. W. Bones, mate. No more rum. Off Palm Key he got it." And other short notes, mostly single words and not easy to understand. I wondered who had got it and what it was. Maybe it was something bad, like a knife in his back. "Not very useful," said Dr. Livesey as he turned the page. The next 10 or 12 pages were filled with a strange kind of notes. On one side of each line there was a date, and on the other side there was an amount of money, like in an account book. But instead of explanations, there were only different numbers of crosses between them. For example, on the 12th of June, 1745, there was a sum of £70, and only 6 crosses to explain it. In a few cases, there was also the name of a place, like off Caracas, or just numbers for position, like 62 degrees 17 minutes 20 seconds, 19 degrees 2 minutes 40 seconds. The record covered almost 20 years. The amounts became larger over time. At the end, there was a total, though it had been calculated wrongly several times. After that, these words were written. "Bones, his pile." "I do not understand this at all," said Dr. Livesey. "It is completely clear," cried the squire. "This is the account book of that evil man. These crosses show the ships or towns they attacked and robbed. The amounts are his share of the loot, and where it was not clear, he added more detail. Off Caracas, for example. This must mean a ship attacked near that coast. God help the poor people on board. They have been dead for a long time." "Right," said the doctor. "You see, it helps to have traveled. And the amounts grow bigger as he became more important." There was not much else in the book. At the end, there were a few notes about directions and places, and also a table for changing French, English, and Spanish money into the same value. "A careful man," said the doctor. "He did not want to be cheated." "And now," said the squire, "let us look at the other thing." The paper had been sealed in several places with a thimble. It was perhaps the same thimble I had found in the captain's pocket. The doctor opened the seals carefully. Inside, there was a map of an island. It showed its position, depth of water, names of hills, bays, and small inlets, and everything needed to guide a ship safely to the shore. The island was about 9 miles long and 5 miles wide. It was shaped like a fat dragon standing up. It had 2 good natural harbors and a hill in the center called the Spyglass. There were some notes added later, but most important were 3 red crosses, 2 in the north and 1 in the southwest. Next to the last one, written in neat red letters very different from the captain's writing, were the words, "Bulk of treasure here." On the back, the same hand had written more information. "Tall tree, spyglass shoulder, bearing a point to the north of north-northeast. Skeleton Island, east, southeast, and by east. 10 feet. The bar silver is in the north cache. You can find it by the direction of the east hill, 10 fathoms south of the black rock with a face on it. The arms are easy to find, in the sand hill, north point of the North Inlet Cape, bearing east and a quarter north. J.F. That was all. It was short and hard for me to understand, but it filled the squire and Dr. Livesey with excitement. "Livesey," said the squire, "you must give up your work at once. Tomorrow I will go to Bristol. In 3 weeks, no, 2 weeks, no, 10 days, we will have the best ship and the best crew in England. Hawkins will come as cabin boy. You will be an excellent cabin boy, Hawkins. You, Livesey, will be the ship's doctor, and I will be the captain. We will take Redruth, Joyce, and Hunter. We will have good winds, a fast journey, and no trouble finding the place. And then we will have more money than we can spend for the rest of our lives." "Trelawney," said the doctor, "I will go with you, and I am sure Jim will go too and be a great help. But there is one man I am worried about." "And who is that?" cried the squire. "Tell me the name." "You," said the doctor, "because you cannot keep a secret. We are not the only ones who know about this paper. The men who attacked the inn tonight, dangerous and desperate men, and the others on that ship, and maybe more nearby, all want this treasure. We must not go anywhere alone until we are at sea. Jim and I will stay together for now. You must take Joyce and Hunter when you go to Bristol. And from now on, none of us must say a word about what we have found." "Trelawney," said the squire, "you are right. I will be as silent as the grave."